Ash and Kalos was built different. He had the experience, he had the drip, the girl, and he even had an all-star lineup of Pokemon. None of that half-evolved BS like in every other region. No. His roster included the GOAT Pikachu, 2 Dragon-type Pokemon with Noivern and Goodra, supporting cast of Hawlucha, Talonflame, and the MVP of course, Greninja. Team was stacked like they was the 2012 Avengers. On the other side now was the Mega Fader himself, Pokemon Trainer Alain. Starting with matchup number 1, we got Pikachu versus a whole ass Tyranitar. If you didn't know anything about Pokemon, you would probably think that it's a Godzilla versus someone's pet mouse. Doesn't seem very fair, but looking at Pikachu, bro is smiling because he knows he's been hitting the gym all this time just for this very moment. Tyranitar's ability Sandstream immediately kicked in, making it difficult for Pikachu to see. Perfect opportunity to unleash a Dark Pulse, however Pikachu managed to duck out of the way just in time. The sand obviously a problem, and we know Tyranitar loves this shit especially because Sandstorm boosts his special defense by 50%. To counter this, Ash actually has to use his brain for once, and he tells Pikachu to use Iron Tail on a pool of water to clear up the sandstorm. Not an electric type move, but even Tyranitar was shocked. Buddy was drenched in water, so Pikachu got the jump on him and landed a devastating Thunderbolt. Only neutral damage according to his type chart, although Ash's squad was glazing him for that play.
He's so smart.
Whatever cleared the sand is absolutely genius.
Oh, shut up.
Plus 100 moral boost for Ash, so he followed up by launching Electro Ball at T-Tar. Before it could hit, Bro activated a Stone Edge to block the attack and comboed back by tail smashing the rocks towards Pikachu. It was like a quick time event, so Pikachu pressed all the buttons to Uno reverse the rocks back, fell in slow motion to Aura Farm, and Tyranitar must have been hungry or something, cause he immediately charged in with a crunch to try and eat Pikachu. Luckily he had Iron Tail to block the attack, and I'm surprised Tyranitar's teeth didn't fall out from biting down on that shit. He swung Pikachu's body into the air, yet this dude Ash was smiling. That's how you instantly know Tyranitar is cooked. The momentum gave Pikachu time to launch a spinning Electro Ball, and that move turns Tyranitar into a surprise Pikachu meme. Direct headshot exploded T-Tar for the KO, giving our boy Ash an early lead over Alain. For real, I don't know how a giant monster lost to a mouse, but Alain did not look bothered at all. Me personally, if I were to see Tyranitar in the locker room afterwards, he's getting the belt. Entering the next battle, Ash shuts Pikachu out for his Noivern. Not a bad Pokemon to have, unless you're facing something like an Ice type, which is 4 times super effective on it. Exactly what Alain brought out. Weavile, Dark/Ice type, and one of the better designed Pokemon, especially compared to his other evolution form, Sneasler. Battle started, and Noivern flew up to use Super Sonic. Weavile protected against it, then immediately followed in with a Night/Backhand to slap the shit out of Noivern. It literally was so strong that it created an explosion. Noivern survived though, and went sicko mode to blast Weavile into a bunch of rocks. Super Sonic technically don't do damage since it's a status move, so Weavile got up to fire off a 4 times super effective Ice Beam. Ash didn't want Noivern to turn into a popsicle, so he used Boom Burst to counter like it was a Dragon Ball Z beam struggle. Attacks causing another explosion, but out the smoke came Noivern charging with a Dragon Claw. Weavile low-key looked worried with sweat dripping from the corner of his face. He had to reach in Naruto's bag of tricks and pull out the Shadow Clone Jutsu just to buy himself a little bit of time. Double Team really a cheat code in Pokemon, cause it makes the users way harder to get hit. Not against Noivern though. Found Weavile without even trying, yet bro still missed the Dragon Claw. He was backflipping in the air like Suni Lee in that One Speed commercial and started spamming Ice Beam. One of Noivern's wings actually got frozen, forcing him to crash land into the water below. He never stood a chance to begin with, but I was still disappointed as Weavile went in for the finishing clip to pack bro up with a Night Slap. 5-on-5 now, and this next part got me kind of hyped. Instead of Ash picking his next Pokemon, we see Hawlucha summon himself to check on his bro Noivern. A little backstory, Hawlucha was the one who found Noivern when he was still an egg. After he hatched, Hawlucha took him under his wing to train, and Noibat was like a little brother to him. So seeing Noivern like this, Hawlucha wanted his get back on Weavile. W matchup because the tables have turned since Hawlucha is part fighting type, which is 4 times super effective on Weavile now. Karate Chop to initiate their battle, and Weavile had to weave for his life. He actually survived the encounter, then used Ice Beam to freeze the pool they were fighting in. Ice is super effective on Hawlucha, so Weavile used it again, only for Hawlucha to tank it head on. I mean, look at Weavile's reaction. Buddy was mad confused because Hawlucha even started emoting on him like Vegeta. He's just as cocky because he kept letting Weavile use Night Slashes on him while he was smirking the whole time. Seeing that alone is enough to tell me that bro was probably plotting something. Instead of switching up their strategy, Alain told Weavile to keep spamming, so Ash finally caught him off guard when he told Hawlucha to flip the script, literally. Wrapped around Weavile mid-ear and spun him around towards the ground. He was falling to his demise already, but Hawlucha wasn't done. Finishing move Flying Press to somersault himself into Weavile, and that dude was knocked out cold. Hawlucha really stands on business, so I figured Alain would want to send out something with a type advantage again, right? No. Next Pokemon in line was his Bisharp. Pulling up his data, he's a Dark/Steel type, meaning this thing is also 4 times weak to fighting types. Either he's an idiot or Alain is about to cook. First play from Bisharp was a Thunder Wave to fry Hawlucha and leave him with paralysis. This means that there's a 25% chance he may not be able to attack, and his speed is also cut in half. There was not much time to recover as Bisharp was rushing in with a guillotine attack. Hawlucha managed to trade blows with an X-Scissor to send both of them crashing, then swiftly recovered to use a high jump kick. Massive damage if it lands, since it's a 130 power move, so Bisharp did his best Spider-Man 1 dodge by bending over backwards to evade it. Hawlucha tried to get back up, but the paralysis kicked in. Bisharp went for another guillotine, and there's no way out of this one. Wide open for a direct hit, and I know Bisharp saved a picture to post his IG later because he was looking clean. One hit KO, and now Hawlucha was fainting. Coming to the next matchup, Alain subs in Unfezant, so Ash sends out Talonflame to make it a fair 1v1 air battle. This fight was like watching someone throwing hands with a mirror. First moves from both Pokemon was Steel Wing to collide for a big explosion. Both flew out the smoke, and it was a dogfight in the sky. Flame Charge from Talonflame versus Unfezant's Sky Attack. They was chasing each other down, each getting hits off, but you could not tell at all who was even winning. Unfezant boosted upwards for height, then pulled an Iron Man 1 move to parachute himself backwards. Behind Talonflame, he started shooting air slashes, but our boy dodged every single one until the very end of Unfezant's barrage. Turbulence almost turned him into War Machine, but he recovered and used the Flame Charge to spin the block, then get the jump back on Unfezant. Not enough to KO, cause Unfezant came out the smoke charging up a Sky Attack. Strongest flying move out there with a power of 140. Talonflame noticed this, so Ash got him to use his own best move, Brave Bird. These two birds charged right into each other, head first, like they were trying to see who could cause more brain damage. A dust cloud covered the battlefield, and both of their bodies fell to the floor for a double knockout. 3-on-3 halfway through the match now, so we get a new battlefield for the last fights coming up. Ash goes with his OG Pikachu, and as for Alain, he goes with a Metagross. Know why this is so interesting? He's gotta be copying Steven because of the time bro was cooking him with his own Metagross. Like, there's no reason to have another Steel-type Pokemon if you already got a Bisharp on the roster. The match began with Pikachu using Thunderbolt, and this big back Metagross somehow dodged it using Agility. His speed is raised by 2 stages now, so he started flexing on Pikachu. Had little buddy boxed in doing laps, so he raised a Metal Claw to bring the house down. Nice knockback, plus the combo wasn't even finished yet. Rock Slide before Pikachu could react, and he was dropping boulders on his head. I'm not exactly sure how Pikachu survived, but you could tell he was pissed now. Squinted eyebrow, side eye, and a mad face? It's crazy cause, after all that, Metagross still powers up another move and absolutely decimates Pikachu with a charging Meteor Mash. Yeah, them steel moves are not very effective on Pikachu. However, this fat ass weighs over half a ton, slamming himself into a literal mountain. Pikachu looked gassed, so Alain got ready to attempt a 5th move in a row. Pikachu had to lock in, so he finally used an attack with Electro Ball to stagger Metagross. Perfect shot, cause it bought him a few seconds for him to jump onto Metagross' head where he could not reach him. A trick right out of DBZ from Chatsu's playbook when he was fighting Nappa. Pikachu lit up the arena with Thunderbolt, and Metagross was struggling to shake him off. It took all of the strength he had left to launch him into the sun, but it actually set Pikachu up for an all-time great Iron Tail dunk right onto Metagross's dome. That thing was knocked out, and Pikachu clutched up another round. With a KO on Tyranitar and Metagross, this means he took out 2 pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Alain wasn't gonna underestimate Pikachu anymore because he sent out his ace Charizard up next. To recap some of his feats, this dude has cooked multiple Mega Pokemon for breakfast, stood his ground against a champion, and threw hands with legendary Pokemon like it was another Tuesday. Everybody already knows Pikachu probably not winning this fight, but peep how nonchalant bro is. I can do this all day type of look. Quick attack for his first move, and he speed blitzed himself right into Charizard's gut. Bounced off it like a trampoline, and got some airtime to launch a Thunderbolt. Super effective damage against a base Charizard, and he had to be feeling it since he dropped to his knees. I know Pikachu fans must have been celebrating like the Brooklyn Nets bench seeing this shit. Upon closer inspection though, Charizard was just aura farming. Got back up like nothing, and instead, Pikachu fell to one knee. This dude is 100% about to get cooked, and I'm surprised nobody tried getting the ref to step in. Charizard No Mercy flamethrower to explode Pikachu, and he was in a Yamcha pose. Ash was still telling Pikachu to get up, all the while Charizard was running it back with a second flamethrower. He managed to activate an Iron Tail and counter the attack by smashing the ground to create a mud wall like Kakashi. Pikachu was out there smiling. However, Charizard was already coming in hot with a Dragon Claw. Iron Tail for the clash off, but Pikachu stood no chance at all. Slammed to the ground, and he was put to sleep. We gotta respect Pikachu for getting a few licks in, but it's still a 2v2, so Ash has to bring out Goodra as Alain subs out his Charizard for Bisharp. No significant type advantages, which makes the battle a pretty even matchup. To start off, Goodra activates a Rain Dance, creating clouds to summon Florida weather. Most people probably confused as to why Ash would waste a turn to even do that, but he's low-key smart for this play. For one, Goodra has Hydration as his ability, meaning he don't gotta worry about status effects such as Paralysis, which screwed over Hawlucha earlier. Plus, Ash still has Greninja in his back pocket, whose water-type moves get a boost in the rain. But he actually playing chess instead of checkers for once. Ice Beam was the first attack used, and Bisharp parkoured around it, charging it for an Iron Head. Literally inches away from getting his face impaled, Goodra held Bisharp back and swung his body to get some distance. Dragon Pulse for the follow-up, but Bisharp had a smooth recovery while countering with a Focus Blast. The attacks canceled each other out like a math equation. Bisharp stayed on offense with another Iron Head, while Ash told Goodra to play defense, tanking the attack head on. But he bounced off like an NFL player trying to get a tackle, but Goodra definitely felt that shit. Bisharp was powering up another Focus Blast like he was Goku, and when he hits Goodra, we see that bro soaks the damage using Vibe. If he survives the next hit, he'll deal twice the amount of damage back to Bisharp. Alain was spamming Iron Head again, trying to get behind Goodra for some back shots, and it worked. Successful hit, but since Goodra survived, bro was able to unleash his bite attack to blow away Bisharp. They say defense wins championships, yet this dude is still alive after following that strategy. I had no faith in Goodra at this point because his moveset's some garbage too, since Bisharp has type resistance to every attack in his arsenal. Iron Head yet again, while Goodra just stared at it like a dumbass. Direct shot to his face, and his big back fell to both knees. If I'm Ash, I'd actually be rooting for Bisharp to take his sorry ass out right about now. Goodra fired off one of the most sorriest Dragon Pulse attacks I've ever seen, and Bisharp swiped it away with Guillotine, rushing in for the finisher. Zoom in on his face, and that dude was shook. Bisharp ran through him, and I know his head was supposed to be chopped off like Thanos, but it's Pokemon, so all we see is the body fall to the floor as he faints. To make it worse, Bisharp stays aura farming too, and even hit the over-the-shoulder glance like he was Piccolo. Now, speaking of aura farming, last Pokemon standing for Ash's squad was none other than Greninja. Like LeBron, he didn't even look phased at all, knowing he was currently down in a finals matchup. Bisharp has been cooking with 2 KOs under his belt, but Peep Greninja still staring him down. This dude resists both of Bisharp's dark and steel typings, so I know he was thinking of all the possible ways he could destroy him. Bisharp like always went for an Iron Head as the first attack, and Ash called for a double team like they were in an episode of Naruto. Look how much swag the Greninja clones had slumped down chilling, while Bisharp was running around lost reenacting the weekend halftime show. All clones jumped up going on the offensive as Bisharp followed into the air to nearly circumcise Greninja. He leaped off of him and whipped out Water Shuriken as a counterattack to completely wash Bisharp with a watery explosion. No post-game shower needed. A one-hit KO, and Bisharp was down for the count already. By the way, shout out Goodra because his rain dance helped Greninja get a sweat-free win. As for Alain, all he had left was his Charizard. The moment everybody has been waiting for. These two do have some history though. Greninja and Charizard have battled twice, and both times Greninja has lost. They say third time's the charm. Plus, I even remember seeing all the theories, predictions, and posts years ago claiming Ash was 100% gonna win. So, we know Greninja has the advantage against the base form Charizard, but Alain was not worried at all to begin the battle. They both had a running start with Charizard initiating a flamethrower. Greninja dodged it with an elegant backflip, then pulled out a cut attack to gut check Charizard, which launched him backwards. He really had that dude on his knees for real this time. Ash was not trying to play with his food here either, because before we know it, this dude goes Super Saiyan like he in DBZ, transforming into Ash-Greninja. Like, we see the fit, bro. You don't gotta be posing like that. Obviously, Alain wasn't about to be one-upped on the main stage, so it was his turn to show off by Mega evolving into Charizard X. Fire/Dragon typing now means he don't got any weaknesses to Greninja no more. They picked up the battle right where they left off as Greninja used Shadow Claws to try and jump Charizard. Flamethrower from Charizard, and that shit was blue. That's how you know he's way stronger now. Out the smoke came Greninja whipping out a whole Water Shuriken as Charizard canceled it out with Dragon Claw. Ear Lace to keep the pressure on as Charizard still kept at it with 10 out of 10 fighting combat like Winter Soldier versus Captain America. Greninja holding back the Dragon Claw, ducked the fist forward, then step jumped looking like he was about to backhand plus kick Charizard. Got the knockback, but Buddy immediately rushed back in for a Dragon Claw uppercut right to Greninja's jaw. He fell flat on his back and peeped Charizard's fighting pose. I swear everyone be copying my guy Piccolo out here. He tried cooking Greninja while he was down, however dude held his ground using Cut to fend the flames. We all know that move Cut is trash in the games, yet in the anime, Greninja makes it look so cool by holding up some Naruto kunais. Charizard dived the ground for his best move Blast Burn now, and I almost thought Greninja was gonna get turned into a pair of fried frog legs. Instead, Ash pulled out the craziest play by telling Greninja to Water Shuriken, but at the ground. Humongous smoke clouds will cover the field, and I know Charizard could not see shit. Our boy put the ninja in Greninja and snuck him with Ear Lace to gut check Charizard, then leaped into the air for a whole back heel to Charizard's dome, smashing him into the dirt. Spider-Man posed upon landing just to be extra disrespectful with it. It must have triggered Alain, cause this guy started talking crazy how he's not supposed to lose and got Charizard to rush Greninja with Dragon Claw. Slapped him so hard, even Ash felt that shit. Cut to counterattack versus another Dragon Claw from Charizard, and it led to some boxing. Charizard broke Greninja's ankles to get his back, quick recovery to clash while looking sideways for a stare down, tanked a knockback from Dragon Claw, and completely weaved Charizard's down smash. It was absolute cinema! Straight hands like they were in DBZ. Thunder Punch from Charizard now, and Greninja had to play defense with Water Shuriken. Parried the first couple hits, even though Electric's supposed to electrify water, before cocking back the Shuriken like he was getting ready to hit a home run out of the park. Decked Charizard right in his abdomen for a knockback, and immediately started charging a full power Water Shuriken. When that shit turned gold, I knew it was about to be the final clash off. Alain was looking like the foe, but he locked in telling Charizard to go ahead with the Blast Burn. Greninja honestly looked prepared for it, but the ground erupted underneath him as both attacks made direct contact, causing the entire arena to go up in smoke. I remember hoping Greninja didn't get boiled alive, and my prayers were answered when we see this dude still standing out the debris. Charizard faltering too, and I know both of their hearts were barely beating until Greninja finally flatlined. GG, as Greninja slowly fainted to the ground. I know for a fact, every Pokemon fan fell to their knees when they saw this. Alain with the W, and he spoiled what was supposed to be Ash's first championship. Sure, Alain do got that dog in him, but this was Ash's most stacked team in his career up until this point. It is what it is. That's it for now. Make sure to beat the channel for other videos, comment what you're trying to see in the future, and subscribe if you aren't already. I'm out, and I'll see y'all in the next one.